The river was never meant to leak. Before we begin exploring the seven gates, there is one idea I would invite you to hold gently in your awareness. What if healing is not about becoming someone new? What if it is about remembering the way you were always designed to function? Much of modern life has taught us to believe that we are broken, that we must continually search outside ourselves for another method, another teacher, another identity, or another achievement that will finally make us whole. Yet perhaps nothing could be further from the truth. Perhaps the human system has always known exactly how to heal. The difficulty is not that the design is flawed. The difficulty is that the current has been interrupted. Throughout history, different traditions have attempted to describe the subtle anatomy of consciousness. Some have spoken of chakras, others of centers of awareness, wheels of light, or energetic vortices. While these symbols all point towards something meaningful, I have found it more helpful to think of them as gates. A gate has intelligence. A gate regulates movement. A gate protects. A gate opens when conditions are right. A gate closes when protection becomes necessary. This simple change in language transforms the way we understand healing. Rather than imagining 7 spinning wheels endlessly radiating energy into the world, imagine 7 intelligent gateways positioned along the great river of the spine. Each gate has a purpose. Each gate supports the next. None exist independently. The river cannot simply leap over one gate to reach another. Nature has never worked that way. An oak tree cannot skip its roots and become branches. A child cannot skip infancy and become an adult. Likewise, consciousness cannot bypass its foundations and remain stable. Every gate prepares the way for the one above it. When one remains wounded, every gate beyond it must compensate. This is why so many people feel trapped in repetitive patterns despite years of searching. They attempt to awaken higher consciousness while the foundations beneath remain unsettled. The nervous system quietly continues asking questions that were never answered. Am I safe? Am I worthy? Is it safe to feel? Until those questions are genuinely integrated, the upward movement of life continually encounters resistance. One of the greatest misunderstandings surrounding energy is believing that healthy energy is meant to constantly flow outward. Many spiritual traditions encourage us to project energy, send energy, protect our energy, or expand our energy field. Yet if we observe life itself, another pattern becomes obvious. Everything living first receives. The roots draw nourishment inward. The lungs draw breath inward. The heart receives blood before sending it onward. Every living cell receives life before expressing life. Creation follows an inward movement before an outward expression. The human system is no different. Life was designed to flow inward, to be integrated, then to ascend, not to continually leak through unfinished experiences. When I speak of energy leaking, I am not referring to something mystical escaping into space. I am referring to attention, consciousness, life force. Every unresolved fear, every suppressed emotion, every memory still carrying the emotional charge of the moment it was created, quietly holds part of our awareness captive. The event may have ended decades ago, yet the nervous system continues behaving as though it has never truly left. Trauma is not simply something terrible that happened. Trauma is often energy that never completed its movement, a moment that became frozen, an emotion that could not be safely expressed, a truth that had to remain silent, a child who had to survive before they could understand. The body remembers what the conscious mind forgets. The nervous system faithfully stores unfinished experiences because, at the time, finishing them would have been overwhelming. Nothing is wrong with this. It is one of the most extraordinary survival mechanisms ever created. The tragedy is not that the nervous system protected us. The tragedy is that many of us unknowingly continue living from those protective states long after the danger has passed. The body still braces. The heart still races. The muscles still tighten. The mind still scans for threats. Part of us remains emotionally frozen in yesterday, while another part desperately tries to build tomorrow. This inner division creates what I call an energetic leak. Not because energy has disappeared, because consciousness remains continually pulled backwards toward unfinished experience. As long as attention continually returns to yesterday's fear, less life remains available for today's possibilities. Healing, then, is not about fighting ourselves, nor is it about collecting endless spiritual knowledge. Healing is the courageous process of turning inward, of becoming radically honest, of sitting quietly enough to hear what the nervous system has been trying to communicate for years. It is the willingness to question every inherited belief, every unconscious identity, every story accepted simply because it was repeated often enough. Many of the identities we carry were never chosen consciously. They were survival strategies. The good child, the strong one, the rescuer, the achiever, the invisible one, the peacemaker. Each identity once served a purpose. Each protected something vulnerable. Yet eventually every protective identity becomes a limitation if it is never examined. Healing asks us to replace these unconscious identities with something infinitely stronger. Truth. Not positive thinking. Truth. Truth about who we are. Truth about what happened. Truth about what no longer belongs to us. Truth about what has always remained untouched beneath every wound. This process cannot be rushed. It cannot be forced. And it certainly cannot be skipped. Every gate asks a different question. Every gate resolves a different layer of consciousness. Safety must precede feeling. Feeling must precede authentic identity. Identity must mature before the heart can fully open. The heart prepares the voice. The voice prepares clear perception. Clear perception prepares unity. This is not a ladder of superiority. It is a sequence of integration. Attempting to leap ahead while avoiding the earlier work simply creates another loop. And loops are one of the defining characteristics of suppression. Suppressed material does not disappear. It repeats. The same relationship, wearing different faces. The same fear appearing in different careers. The same abandonment arriving through different people. The same emotional reaction returning again and again. The psyche is not punishing us. It is asking to be completed. Suppression creates repetition. Integration creates ascent. Every truth we are willing to face closes another leak. Every emotion we allow to move frees another part of the river. Every false identity we release returns another measure of life to the system. Gradually, the current strengthens. The spine begins carrying something different. Less fear, less fragmentation, more coherence, more presence, more life. Perhaps this is why the spine has held such symbolic significance across so many traditions. Not merely because it supports the body, but because it is the great central river through which coherent life ascends. As the gates heal, the current rises. As the current rises, it nourishes the higher centers of the brain. The cranial nerves receive increasingly coherent information. The observer begins changing, not because reality itself has altered, because the one perceiving reality has become integrated. This book is not an invitation to believe another philosophy. It is an invitation to observe yourself honestly, to become curious rather than judgmental, to replace self-condemnation with understanding, to stop fighting the parts of yourself that have simply been trying to protect you. As we journey through each of the 7 gates, remember this. The goal is not perfection. The goal is wholeness. Not becoming someone else. Not escaping your humanity, but allowing every fragmented part of yourself to return home. For the river has never forgotten where it is going. It has simply been waiting for each gate to remember how to open.